There are moments in life when doing the right thing doesn't feel victorious. Moments when obedience doesn't look like success. When faith doesn't come wrapped in affirmation or applause. When you look around and realize that standing for what is good, what is true, and what is holy has made things harder, not easier. This might be one of those moments. And if you're here right now, listening to this might be one of those moments for you as well. Something you poured yourself into is being challenged. Something you built with care is being questioned. Something rooted in prayer is being resisted. And the temptation in moments like these is not always to abandon God outright. The temptation is more subtle. It is the temptation to believe that if God were truly with you, this wouldn't be happening. But Scripture tells us otherwise. Faith has never been a promise of ease. It has always been a call to endurance. When Christ spoke of following him, he didn't speak of comfort. He spoke of carrying a cross. A cross is not decorative. A cross is not symbolic fluff. A cross is heavy, public, costly, and yet is precisely there where obedience becomes real, when the road narrows, when the options shrink, when the pressure mounts. This is where faith stops being an idea and becomes a decision to remain faithful even when the outcome is unclear. We live in a world that constantly tells us to measure success by visibility, power, and approval, by numbers, by momentum, by influence. But Scripture offers a different measure. In the first letter of John, chapter 2, verses 15 through 17, we are told, "Do not love the world or the things in the world. If anyone loves the world, love for the Father is not in him. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, and the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life, is not of the Father, but is of the world. And the world passes away, and the lust of it, but he who does the will of God abides forever." Those words are not gentle. They are clarifying. They remind us that the world measures worth one way, and God measures it another. The world values control. God values surrender. The world rewards compliance. God honors faithfulness. The world asks, does this work? God asks, is this true? And when you choose truth, you should not be surprised when resistance follows, because the world does not push back against what it owns. It pushes back against what it cannot claim. If you are facing opposition right now, it may not be because you are wrong. It may be because you are standing in the way of something that prefers darkness to light. This does not mean every struggle is holy. It does not mean every challenge is persecution. But it does mean this: difficulty is not proof of abandonment. In fact, the opposite is true. God's will is not always revealed through open doors. Sometimes it's revealed through endurance in the face of closed doors. Sometimes God allows pressure not to break us, but to strip away our illusions. Illusions that we were ever in control. Illusions that success belonged to us. Illusions that outcomes were ours to manage. Faith matures when we finally say, "Not my will, but yours be done," and mean it even when the answer costs us something, especially when it costs us something. There's a quiet strength that forms in people who refuse to surrender their conscience just to keep the peace. There's a steadiness that develops in those who keep showing up even when the future looks uncertain. And there is a peace, and the world cannot counterfeit when you know you are standing where God asked you to stand. You may not win the argument. You may not keep the building. You may not retain the structure exactly as it was. But if you remain faithful, you will not lose what matters, because God is not primarily concerned with preserving institutions. He is concerned with forming souls. He is not limited by doors that close. He is not threatened by resistance. He is not confused by delay. The same God who brought life out of a tomb does not panic when plans unravel. Our task is not to force outcomes. Our task is to remain obedient, to continue loving when it is costly, to continue telling the truth when it is inconvenient, to continue trusting when clarity is withheld. This is what it means to walk by faith and not by sight. And faith does not demand certainty, it demands fidelity. If you are exhausted right now, that does not mean you are weak. It means you've been carrying something heavy. Lay it before God, not as a negotiation, not as a demand, but as an offering. Say to him plainly, Lord, I do not know how this ends, but I will stand where you place me. I will speak what is true. I will act in love, and I will trust you with the rest. The world will pass away. Its pressure, its pride, its hunger for control, but the one who does the will of God abides forever. Stand firm, not because you are certain of victory, but because you are certain of who you serve. And when all that is said and done, that will be enough.